Hey, what's up, YouTube? How you doing? Can't seem to find my other phone. I was gonna do a live stream, see if anybody comes on. Oh, there it is. I hear it. There it is. Okay. The other day, I'm not even gonna try to put another live stream up. Just go with the one. I just wanted to make a phone call real quick. Yeah, this phone's beat up, and like everything's foggy as shit in it. I gotta get a new phone. Hey, what's up, Mr. Henkel? How you doing, Fred? What's new and exciting? Let me put my car back on here. What's new in your neighborhood? Any rioting and looting? Because I just heard up in Washington State, I guess it is, where the floods are happening. People get in kayaks and going to people's homes and robbing them and looting them. You know what? That's a good way. They'll send the National Guard in, and the National Guard will probably have orders to go in and search for firearms and take your shit if you've left it there. What's this? It's cold as a exactly as a witch's. Right, dude. It's chilling. It's chilling. You fucking make ice cream in my fucking. It's cold as fuck, dude. But actually, I got the heater on, so I'm good to go. What was I gonna say? Something I was just about to say and I forgot. Yeah. They're fucking kayaking down the streets up there. It's flooded out, and they're robbing people and shit. It's fucked up. People are such fucking scum these days. These people are losing everything as it is, and they're going in to steal whatever might have survived, might be on the upper floor and didn't get flooded out. It's like dirtbags, and they're probably, they're probably Democrats too, though. Ah, man. That's another thing. I'm up to here with everybody trying to still dance around the subjects and shit, the political correctness and all this. Now, say what it is. We're done with this fucking trying to tiptoe through the tulips. When it's if a black person commits a crime, then they committed a crime, and you got it. Do something about it. Or any race, any fucking race. Be they from Mexico, even here if they're white. I don't give a shit. Everybody needs to stand, and be accountable. It's horse shit, I'm tired of hearing it. What's this? No problem. What's that? Religion, even in the black neighborhoods, region, it's all peaceful. That's good. That's, serious. Like, you just had a mass shooting. I got off the internet the other day. I was talking to you guys, did a live stream, and then I find out, I don't know if I knew yet, I think I heard afterwards that, and maybe I did mention it, I thought I might have heard it right before, but Australia, there was Muslim extremists or something, a terrorist, I should say, went and shot 15 people. And the deal is that Australia's not letting these people talk about anything on the internet, meaning, in other words, if you're getting bullied and abused by the Muslim population over there, tough shit. Suck it up, buttercup. They don't care. They're just gonna, don't say anything because it's hate speech if you fucking come up and say anything about it. What kind of fucking bullshit is that? And same thing they're gonna try to do here. Mark my words. What's that? Even the blacks are sick and tired of all this bullshit. Yeah, because at the end of the day, they're realizing this is bullshit. I don't care what color you are, what, religion. Nobody wants to be victimized, period. And it's happening to everybody. And you know what? You know who's doing it? It's not the blacks, it's not the whites, it's not the Puerto Ricans, it's not the Mexicans. It's our fucking government by setting up a system and bringing in millions of people that we can't even handle, because we're caving in as it is, and they're adding more stressors to us. It's bullshit. And Joe Biden should be thrown into fucking jail and all the whole thing. And Trump, he's at least trying to get illegal aliens out of here. However, I got some bones to pick with him too, but I ain't going into that right now. I'm just pissed off because 15 people lost their lives because they were Jewish down in Australia. Okay, they were shot and killed, and Ilhan Omar was on there. A reporter. She's the senator or whatever the hell, congresswoman from Minnesota, Somalian, and she's a big shit-eating grin on her face when they're talking about what happened over in Australia, and they mentioned, I think, a shooting happened here too, and it's nuts. It's disgusting. And you know what? It's time people fucking start screaming at the top of their lungs. Walk right into the fucking Capitol building. Say, you know what? We're going to get in your face, motherfuckers, if you don't fucking wake up and do something about this bullshit. That's the way we got to be. I honestly believe it, because they're paying no attention to us. They don't care. They want to eliminate us, and they'll bring in either a minority class from another country. And once they get tired of them, by that time, they'll have AI in here, and they'll kill them off, too. They don't get it. They're being used just like us. And I keep putting it back. It's on the top dogs. The elites in this country, or so-called elites, set this shit up. Okay? In my opinion, all right? Let's just say. You read that. Hang on one second. Let me see something. I don't usually go ragging on this shit anymore, hardly at all talk about this shit, but I am now because I'm getting tired of it, because it's coming back around again. The last month or two, I've been hearing more and more, and if somebody doesn't say something, it goes unnoticed. And I think everybody needs to talk about it. Everybody's got to not be afraid to, say, hey, the emperor has no clothes, or whatever that saying is, where you fucking just drop the spotlight on the problem and don't fucking back off it. Pedal to the metal, keep climbing up their ass in Congress and everywhere else, and put a stop to this bullshit, because they're bringing people over. They're changing the laws. They're throwing out our Constitution. We don't have the rights we had at one point in time, if we ever really did have them. And I'm sick of it. It's unfucking real. Hang on, wait a minute. I want to see if this thing came through. What? Wait a minute. Yeah, it looked like it came through. I'm going to send out another round of notifications if they'll let me. Let me see. Hang on. Oh, here you go. See if I can get anybody come over here. Wait a minute. What the hell's up with this? One second, almost done. I sent a text out. Just put this up there. Yeah, I had my tire was low as shit when I got up this morning. Rolled over, got air put in the damn thing. It's low again. It's a slow leak or something. I don't know how cold it is over where you're at. It's fucking 17 degrees this morning. Well, we are in the beginnings of one of the largest housing markets crashes in history. 2026 will be bad. 2000 will be worse. Yep. I don't know if we'll be here in 2027. The way that they're all threatening each other. All these fucking countries are, getting ready for nuclear war and shit every fucking other day. It's ridiculous, you know? You know what I don't understand? Why YouTube refuses to, here they are, they're sending me a thing, a fictional world you'd love to visit. How about this, YouTube? That's this question for a fictional world you'd love to visit. How about this one, YouTube? One where YouTube fucking sends out notifications. I mean, come on. We are in the, I saw that. What's this? Even the blacks. Yep. Yeah, it's ridiculous, dude. Like I was saying about Australia, that's coming here. People up in New York are already getting pissed off because they got to endure Muslim prayer time. I guess how many times a day does that thing go off up there? It's what do you call it? Speakers with the prayers calling out. Okay, now I could probably endure that. I could probably put up with it and just ignore it and go about my business. However, if you did that with Christmas carols, or you put out, had a big screen TV out in the town square with the Catholic Church mass on it, or Jewish people did something with that, there would be hell to pay. They would be flipping out, cutting heads off of people. Why is it okay for one group of people to do that shit, but Christians and anybody else can't, and Jews? What's this? 5:30 every morning up there. Yeah. It's probably pretty fucking loud too. And here's the deal: there's sound ordinances. Why is that? Not a thing. If they're blasting it so they can hear it across town. Sorry, turn that light. You know what I mean? That's got to be annoying as hell when you're trying to sleep. You work the third shift and 5:30 in the morning, they're blasting that, and you happen to be like down the street from it, and you can hear it plain as day. I'd be pissed. That should lower the property value. Yeah, that's as bad as having someone rolling into your neighborhood with one of beatbox rap music, blasting your walls all to hell, top volume shit going on. I used to live in a neighborhood like that where they would pull up right in front of your house, sit there and smoke joints and drink Colt 45 or whatever else was their beverage of choice at that moment, and litter the sidewalk with the remains of the cans, and hang out there playing the music till your ears bled. It's like, what the fuck? Give me a break. They would lock you up. That's right. You can't. What? If you did that, you're right. And they actually have. I said this the other day. I don't know if people believe me on this. There is two things right now. One, a little while ago, they were reporting on this, that Chinese had a precinct in New York, Chinese police department up there. I think it's only got a handful of cops up there, but basically what they're doing is going after Chinese dissidents. Hey, what's up? Who's that? Is that, I can't say, Tammy, what's up? Chinese dissidents and people are over there, and same with the Muslims are doing the Sharia law. So they're bringing that over here. But you know what? This is a nation of laws. We have our own laws here. We don't play by their rules. Just like if you went over there and did shit, you pay the piper. You know what I mean? How you doing, Tammy? You're in the shower? That's cool. I just went out and got air in my tire. This morning I got up. That son of a bitch was low, and I rolled over to the Wawa, put air in it, thought I solved the problem, and sitting in here doing a video earlier, short, and I stopped, and I got to go over to Dollar Tree. I start going over there. I look, the fucking tire, I got like a gauge on the dashboard. It's low again, so must have had a slow leak or something. Who knows? I can't stand trying to put air in these fucking tires. I don't know what, at least from the Wawa. it's free air, but for some reason, I think the one pump, something's wrong with it. It doesn't feel like it's putting it in there fast enough. And I don't know. I had an issue with it a couple days, or about a couple weeks ago, and I thought the problem was over. I finally got the thing filled, and I must have a slow leak because a couple times when it went real cold, the cold shrinks tires. Yeah, yep. Yeah, but you'd think if you had like a slow leak, you mean is it's coming out the seal, around the tire when it shrinks? Because if you have a small puncture or something, a slow leak, as the tire's deflating, you'd think that the rubber would seal up. It wouldn't get bigger and let more air out. It seems like it was fine till it got real cold. Or is it just because air pressure changes with the temp? Maybe that's one of Bill Nye, the science guy over here, trying to tell you why his fucking tires are flat. Whatever. They were flat anyway, and I don't give a fuck why. But you know what? Tammy, you just came on here. I'm on a little bit of a rant again because I keep hearing shit about basically what I was talking about the other day. How Muslims can get away with anything they want. And it's starting to be over in Australia, England, and many other countries. It's coming here. Okay, well, guess what? Someone's got to draw the line in the sand, say, not here, not in our neighborhood. I don't give a shit. We have a right to live in peace without them coming over. As a matter of fact, they're saying, watch out, there's going to be all kind of terrorist attacks around Christmas. Okay, you want to play that, assholes? Yeah, shit goes both ways. That's all I'm going to say. People will be fucking so steamed that they'll fucking run these fuckers out of town. I want to hear church bells again. Exactly. There's a lot of people get bent out of shape if you say Merry Christmas and everything. Yeah, why? You can say Happy Hanukkah, say whatever you want. It doesn't bother me. But when you try to stifle me or shut down my rights, fuck you. I'm coming right back at you. I don't care. And you know what? Fuck these elites that are trying to make these rules like they're trying to keep the peace when they're the ones that fucking started all this shit, bringing in millions and millions of people to steal the election and then giving them all the benefits and perks that should only go to people like veterans who fought in wars and anybody that's paid taxes and lived here. They're not getting shit, but the people coming in are getting treated like gold. It's ridiculous. Your freedom ends when it's infringing upon my freedom. Yeah, especially in your country. When you grew up here, you paid your taxes here, you lived here. You might have signed a dotted line when you were 18 to get drafted to fucking die for your country, and now your country's just ignoring you and throwing you to the curb. Bullshit. You know what? You start stomping out the fucking politicians that are putting that out there. Fuck them. Fuck them motherfuckers. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's time to fucking call a spade a spade. If somebody's fucking causing a problem, we have a right to speak up. Over in England, they're getting fucking thrown in jail for speaking the fuck up. People are getting raped over there. Women are getting raped, and people getting stabbed in the subways and everything else. That's their jihad or whatever the hell game they're playing over there. I don't think they better stand for any further. I think they got to band together and chase them the fuck out of their country. And I don't care what anybody thinks. That's the way I'm feeling at this point, because it's ridiculous. What's it say? Yeah, you don't even hear church bells anymore. I thought you were saying that the other day. It's like, is it illegal now? I don't remember hearing. I know one place where they have bells going off on Sunday, but I think it's only like around noon. They used to be all the time. You'd hear church bells. And what happens with caroling, Christmas caroling? if you're out doing that. I wonder how many people fucking raise hell and come after you, or, you know what I'm saying? Is that illegal now too? Hang on. There it is. Couldn't find my other phone. Let me see. Yeah. Did you hear? What's this? I'm all for getting along with people, agree or to disagree. However, some don't know how to do that. Yeah. Did you hear about Patrick Humphreys? Got it. I was just talking about this before you got on there. Evidently, people are going into towns into Washington, West Coast state of Washington, I guess, was flooded out, and they're kayaking up to people's houses and looting them. I say that's convenient. I wouldn't put it past the government to fucking send people in to go ransack the house, make it look like looters, and confiscate any guns found. Because when you're evacuating, some people probably don't drag their guns and everything else. They're just getting the hell out of there. You know, they didn't get a chance to pack you. They're probably stealing ammo, food, supplies, and everything else. So when you do, if you do come back, you ain't got nothing, you know? But again, every time there's a natural disaster, people aren't allowed to come back to their homes. You know, there's always some kind of hazard, toxic waste will end up in there, you know, from the flood or something else. And then BlackRock steps in and just confiscates the property through one of its subsidiaries or whatever, another company that they probably own anyway. That's sad, kicking when they're already dead. Exactly. It's because, you know, the whole world's going down the toilet. You know? It's unbelievable. Yeah, so anyway, I got over there. My tire wasn't flat, but it was pretty damn low. It was sort of low. Too low to be driving on, in my opinion. So, like I said, I filled the fucker up, and I'm hoping tomorrow morning I get up and the damn thing ain't going to be too low, and I'll go get it patched. You know? So, here's the deal. I'm 23 minutes in, right? It's the same two people got the notifications. None of my others. I got 1,200. No, I got almost 1,100 subscribers. Are any of them getting any of this? Any what do you call it? Notifications sent out? It's kind of crazy. Wonder why YouTube refuses to, you know, send out a couple notifications. Starts to piss me off, and then I come on here, attitude, and say, who's that? That's Tammy again. Yeah, exactly. Hey, see, because I said something. Now we're up to 4. They let a couple people. They were probably up there, but they won't show me. They're just gonna. They know it aggravates me to be sitting here, you know, talking and and like it's just like hot air coming out because nobody's on the other end to hear it, you know. Whatever. And I know some people probably don't want to hear me bitch, but I've noticed it time and again, you know. Just recently that they changed it up where my live streams are pretty fucking beat. I have to stay on here. Actually, if I stay on for 2 hours, then I get somebody right by the time I'm ready to quit. People start jumping on. But I ain't got that much hot air. Can't sit here and keep yapping. And I don't know too many people are doing like an hour and a half, 2 hour live streams. Maybe there's people out there doing them like that. But people tend to have shorter attention spans. And, you know, when you lose their attention, they're gone. They're down the road checking out another live stream. So there's that. So also, I meant to say this the other day. I heard that they were quarantined. This is again a Patrick Humphreys report from the other day. He's been rolling out some stuff. He said was it yesterday, I believe, that there was people already quarantined, and I don't remember what state it was in, for some flu, this new pandemic thing they're trying to push on us. I haven't heard anything else from anybody else yet, but I got a feeling it's coming, like next week or two, as we get closer to Christmas, maybe. I hope not, because I don't want to play all that silly bullshit, you know, put a rag over your face or grandma's going to die type shit. Go become a human pincushion because grandma's going to die. You know, get the fuck out of here. It's just ridiculous. And then they lied all that time. They were telling us lies, straight up lies. And they got caught in them. And it came to pass that they had to come forward and say the truth a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And people realized we were bullshitted. We were gaslit. So I don't know how many people are going to believe anything they say anymore. You know? It's ridiculous. And where in the fuck is Dr. Fauci? I don't like to know that he's all quiet in some laboratory, you know, mad scientist, you know, doing his thing, brewing up some other fucking kill juice for us to fucking kill us. Some Wuhan flu or whatever the fuck he's got going now. Because nobody seems to hear or know anything about him. You don't hear a damn word about him. He should be behind bars. You know? Total criminal. So you don't hear nothing. You know what I'm saying, Tammy? When's the last time you heard anything about Fauci? Not that I want to hear it on. I want to hear that he's behind bars or he's 6 foot under, you know, feeding the worms, whatever. Because this guy killed millions, whether you like it or not. You know, when you really boil it down, go over to India, see how much they like him over there, or Africa. What the fuck? He's trying to wipe out third world countries over there, you know. It's ridiculous. Totally off. Keep hearing something over there. It was that guy. There's a car pulled in over there. Heard him, must have had his music on or something. He's in his underground bunker. It's where they're all hiding out, you know, plotting and scheming as they hide like a demon, you know. You fucking rat bastards, as far as I'm concerned. Stretched her neck with a rope. Yep. I don't know. This is ridiculous, though. I'm sitting here, and again, it's now almost a half an hour in. I wonder what my view count is right now, and it just pisses me off. So I don't even know how much longer I'm going to be on YouTube. I think I'm going to go over to Rumble. It's ridiculous. And I don't like, I'm not a kind of guy that likes change and shit. I don't really want to go over there, but they're forcing me off this platform. I don't even fucking want to waste my time anymore. It was good for a while. It's gone. It's all gone. By the way, has Richie from Boston put out anything in the last couple of days? I can't see him. He's not in my feed anymore. He's not coming through. None of his videos just recently. AI ruined it. Yeah, YouTube. Exactly. Yep. AI's ruining everything in this country. Yeah. It's unbelievable. The band one dropped the video yesterday. Okay. I didn't get it. I didn't see it come through for a while. Yeah, I thought so. Yep. Um, I thought, I mean, I was getting all his videos, and just like the last couple days, nothing. And you know what? YouTube's probably heard me say something the other day about Richie from Boston. Said he fucking out of spite won't send any of his shit through now. It's crazy. AI's like a fucking brat of a child personality, whatever. It's like throwing a fit because of some of the stuff. I think he's working on his truck. He's always working on his truck, man. He must dump a lot of money into that. You know that? His truck had so many problems. I mean, look where he's going with these broken axles and everything else, being off road and back in the wilderness. What he's saying true to about AI. Yeah. It's like a little kid or something. And they're saying that the AI is going to learn off of us. And yeah, were you the one saying that? And I heard that also, that they're letting us basically teach AI and gather up. And that's what the data centers are for. And they're just going to keep, what's that? Always being worked on. Yeah. He must have some money, because I'll tell you what, some of the repairs he's done, by the sounds of it, sound like they're expensive as shit, And it only slows him down for a few days. He's back on the road again, Oh, by the way, I'm still wondering about Monograph. What was up with what he was talking about? That doesn't make any sense. A couple days ago, if that happened like that, it's almost like he had something happen, then he went into what's called a fugue state, where I think you don't remember, and some kind of trauma happened or something. It's almost like an amnesia thing, because when he was explaining what happened and everything, it seemed like he was slightly unclear on certain things. To me, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and so I wonder something's up with that, or was he making that up? Was it just a story? I wonder, because it could have been just for entertainment purposes only. We might have missed the beginning where he said that, because he does other videos. Anyway, I think, what am I on here for? Half an hour. Not a single soul came on, but you, Fred. One person peeked through there. What about Monograph? Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed too unlikely. I'm not saying I don't know what to think about that. It didn't make any sense, what he was saying to me. It's as if he wasn't sure what happened and was trying to figure it out, and had blank spots in what happened that day or that night. And it just doesn't make any sense, what he said to me, Anyway, I don't see anybody hopping on here. And I don't see a point in keep hanging around if nobody's coming on. And being that it's cold and everything and it's late, maybe they're crashed out. But I think more likely YouTube's just not sending anything out. People are moving, what's that? Out of Florida by the tens of thousands. Why is that, though, Fred? Alzheimer's. Yeah, maybe it is. What I thought Florida was a red state that, what's his name? Ron DeSantis was going to be next in line to go to the White House for a while there. But I think you're right. They probably are moving out of there. Wait a minute. What's it say? They can't afford to live. Yeah. Well, you know what? Everything's like that. Thought Trump was going to lower the prices, but it ain't just him. The whole fucking world's going up in flames. and I think we're only very close to complete collapse. You know, everything just going down. And probably when the money goes and everything, the power will probably go down. Everything will go down, and then they'll bring it back up online, and then they'll introduce the new money system, which will be the mark of the beast. And if you don't play their game, you don't get into their, you know, their society. You're just left out in the cold. Because that's coming real soon, dude. Digital money. That's a crock of shit. Give me paper money, give me coins, give me gold, give me silver. Don't give me bullshit and tell me wish in one hand, shit in the other, see which one fills up first. I don't believe in invisible money. I want something tangible in my hand. Fuck this. Yeah, like I said, a power grid goes down. Does that it keeps you from being able to spend your money? If you have paper money or gold or silver, you could still probably go purchase shit even if you're in the dark. Maybe someone would still, take your business and try to do something with you. Florida, what's that say? Florida, go on vacation, leave on probation. Yeah, exactly. But that's another thing. There's all of a sudden it's getting crazy with them changing shit. Now you were telling me this that technically it's illegal to be homeless now. Like they can arrest you if you're living in your car or sleeping under a bridge or whatnot. And then they also have something else I just heard that was fucking just off the hook ridiculous. Why is it all right now happening that they're just changing? First off, they set up a system here that's collapsing, and they did it intentionally, and they're pulling out everything out from under it to collapse it, or just everything, and right down to they started off with the food stamp thing, moved up to the next thing and the next thing, and eventually the stock market's coming down. Everything's crashing. Mark my words, and it won't be long now. What's that? Yeah. And the weird thing is, I think a lot of Democrats are trying to move into Texas now and turn it to a blue state. Hey, there we go. Got some fresh blood on here. Yeah, it's just saying there's nobody hopping on here. Did you get a notification there? Little bit of pure gold. Did a notification come through, or you just happen to see the what you call it? I can never tell if they're sending out my notifications or I think they're sending them out real late. Like I said, I got to stay on here for damn near an hour to get anybody on here. I think they want longer live streams. Sometimes you just don't want to fucking hang on the internet all night. So it's... See this. I don't get notifications. I was scrolling. All right. Yeah, what's going on with that? Wait, those two having a battle royale. I haven't been paying much attention to it, but I'm hearing a lot of bad shit now about both of them. I think Candace Owens is going crazy. She used to be highly intelligent. Maybe she still is, but few things that she said recently to me seemed off the hook. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't follow the shit as close as I used to. I'm convinced that Erica Kirk is demon possessed. She has those Kenneth Copeland. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a weird dude. Kenneth Copeland. He looks like a fucking munchkin on a bad acid trip or something. Jumping up and down and running around. His eyes big as fucking 50-cent pieces. Meathead passed away. Then he passed away. He was murdered away. Yep. Somebody threw him in a Cuisinart. Chopped him up. Wanted to take Meathead and make meatloaf. Rob Reiner. Yeah. He's like libtard number one. He was a big libtard. Someone said De Niro went over his house and Billy Crystal, I guess today or something for whatever reason, probably to clean up fingerprints. They were probably over there with a bunch of other Illuminati star whacker actors and shit. Do you remember, what was his name? Randy Quaid calling out the star whackers, he said. There was people out there that were killing, top tier movie stars and shit. They weren't dying by accident. Makes me wonder. Yeah, exactly. You know they don't. Yeah, you're saying that. Yep. Well, yeah. About Randy Quaid. He's the one that was in a National Lampoon, Uncle Eddie or whatever. He said that him and his wife, they looked like they were crazy. They were on the run and they claiming they weren't, on drugs or weren't crazy. There was literally people going around killing Hollywood people. And maybe Anne Hesh, how about what was his name? Lawrence, he wasn't killed, but he had a meltdown. All these guys were having meltdowns and claiming people were chasing them. I'm trying to think there was a bunch of them. And it was right after that. So I don't know. I wonder about Scientology because I think Anne Hesh was in that. And I know a few others that were chased. Lee Remy. There's some wackos in that fucking cult. Yeah. Yeah, Rob Reiner. We used to call him Rob Schreiner because he looks like one of them Sonic dudes. Sacrifices being collected. Yeah, exactly. Ellen DeGeneres. Anne Hesh used to go with Ellen DeGeneres. They broke up. She died in a car wreck. Prior to that, there was somebody they were claiming was a sacrifice as Ellen was breaking into the business. It was one of her friends or something. And you wonder, is there any truth to all this? You hear this a lot. Like maybe if they were granted fame and fortune, if they knock so-and-so off or whatever. And look at Michael Jackson. Someone made a ton of money. I guess doctor, what was his name? I forget the fucking dude's name now. I can't even bring it up. But all these people that are Whitney Houston, are all of them just accidental deaths? Prince thought someone was coming after him. L&D has what? Those, yeah, exactly. They're all fucking demon possessed. Yep. I'm hungry as shit. I'm eating corn chips. Do you guys have them over there? Camels with the cigarettes and goats. Okay. So, what do you guys make your corn chips out of? Camel shit? This is nothing more. Okay. You got sand over there, don't you? Isn't there plenty of sand? You maybe make yourself a sandwich. It's like when the demons move in the eyes, becomes just barely blue, clear eyes. Looks back in the photos, their eyes are dark blue. Yeah. Now, sometimes I wonder, you see some of these people from Hollywood on the TV, and there's moments when they look, there's somebody looking through their eyes, like they don't even seem like the same person. Oh, about sand? I don't know. What was I going to say with that whole thing? With there's other ones too. There's a ton of people fucking. What the hell was that guy's name? Black comedian Lawrence. What the hell? You know who I'm talking about? He had like a meltdown, and supposedly someone was chasing him around the city and all this other shit. Yeah. Yep. You're right. Joyce Myers really looks bad. Every now and then you see her. I think maybe you're right, though. You're actually seeing a demon talking through him, jumping in and out of him. Did you guys ever see that movie with John Goodman? It was, I forget the name of it, but he was in it in the Denzel Washington. I think he was a detective, and they're investigating murders and shit. I'm not sure, but I think John Goodman was his partner, and they were trying to solve murders. And it turned out it was like a demon was jumping from person to person. I think it eventually got into John Goodman. It's a crazy movie, and you wonder who's to say some of the shit we see in the news reels that playing at night aren't caused by some kind of evil spirit doing this shit. Not to take the guilt away from the person that did the thing, but sometimes I'm wondering if they had no control. Joel Osteen's another one. You're right. He's starting to get exposed. He had people fooled, and they thought, he was this great minister and everything, but in reality, he's a feel-good minister. He won't tell you the truth. He's not fire and brimstone type talk. It's everything's puppy dogs and flowers and light and good and this and that. No, not telling you that if you fuck up, you're not going to make the cut, and you're going to be in eternal damnation. He's not telling anybody that. He's just do what you want. Like there's no such thing as sin and everything. It's crazy. Yeah, Joel Osteen. His father had that ministry first, and it's like a fucking cathedral now. I think it's in Houston, Texas, or something. Literally, it was like a basketball court or something for a pro team, and they're filling that thing. It's unreal. So it's money, money, money. That's what it's really about. You probably do better off going to a street corner preacher and listen to him talk, and he probably direct you a hell of a lot quicker to how to get closer to God than some of these fools that are on TV, these so-called evangelists. He refused to open his church to the, yeah, yeah, that's right there. That was it for him. Right, exactly. Yep. Joel Osteen. Yep. Now, I mean, early on, I had listened to some of the songs. This guy's pretty positive. Then I'm realizing, wait a minute, it's less and less about you know what the Bible says, and more about being the best person you can be, and this and that, and positivity, and that's all good. But less and less mention of God and the Bible. It seemed like, I don't know. I just thought so anyway. Uh, I guess it maybe not hard to read, but hard to comprehend for certain people, and actually, I guess a lot of people, because you're talking a couple thousand years ago, and different people wrote chunks of it. It inspired from God, but the problem is it's translated, and some of it was written in Greek and this and that, so it probably is hard for a lot of people to understand. So, like the Old Testament, I read it, and there's things in there I have to keep reading it, and it just doesn't click sometimes. Saw him in person once. It was a guest speaker at one of the churches. It's at my GMA. Like that, dude. It's all about tithes. Yeah, exactly. Money, mammon. You can't serve God and mammon. Mammon is money. It's one or the other. Materialism isn't going to be worth shit. You know what? I actually think all the stuff that you own is nothing more than an anchor. Physical stuff that you own, millions of this and 3, 4 cars and airplanes, and it's nothing more than an anchor. That's going to keep you from getting to heaven, in my opinion, because you're worshiping false idols. You know what I mean? You're better off taking a vow of poverty, because then you get paid in heaven. In other words, in my opinion, God's going to reward people, not because they're the richest guy or they got this and that. It's not a competition. It's about doing the right things. Harder than math. Well, I'll tell you what, dude. I suck at math. Always have that, and I didn't like English class either when I took that. Wow, you any good at math? I don't like. I'm not a big fan of math. It always bored the shit out of me for whatever reason. I couldn't concentrate in math class. What's that? I've been deep in the Ethiopian Bible lately, written way before most translations we read today. Yeah, it just bored the shit out of me, dude. I liked like science, history, and stuff like that. Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. It's good to be good at that, because it's useful. It's useful information. On the other hand, there was courses that we had to take that you barely use in real life, and actually some of the math. Like, when do you use trigonometry? I don't know. I never. Yeah, if you can add, subtract, divide, and multiply, you're good to go. They got like calculus and all this other stuff, and maybe scientists use it. I don't. I don't know. Mathematical philosophy. Where'd you find that? King James version. What, the Ethiopian Bible? That's the next thing. There's so many different Bibles. And I mean, some of these preachers will use one part of one Bible and then jump over to another one. I think the Jehovah's Witnesses sort of do that to try to, piece together what they believe. On the bookstore, yeah. There you go. Because I didn't even see any math books, the bookstore I go to. But I think it's because I purposely don't look for them. But it's good to know that shit. As a matter of fact, I was saying the other day, kids today aren't taught math hardly. I mean, just push a button on a calculator and give you the answers. You go up to the counter to buy some candy or cigarettes or some beer, whatever the hell you happen to be purchasing, and a kid on the register can't do math. If the power goes out, he's fucked. And they'll sit there, like when they go to give you your change, boy, it look like a bead of sweat breaks out and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. The kids are dumbed down big time. Yeah, yep, you're right. They don't actually learn. They're just like you said, memorizing formulas. The Ethiopian Bible, written in ancient, let's say, Greece language, began translation from Greek text around the 4th century, coinciding with Ethiopian Christianity and earliest manuscripts like the what the hell does it say? Garima Gospels, showing carbon dated evidence 4th and 7th century origins, making them among the world's oldest Christian biblical texts. What about the Dead Sea Scrolls? They're pretty fucking far back. Just go to the same bookstore. It should have a Bible in there. Is it not permitted, or is it hard to find a Christian church over there? They don't have Christian churches? Well, the Middle East is very, as far as I can tell, there's certain countries where Christianity's in there, but it's as if it's hardly in some countries. I think if you're over in Afghanistan and you're a Christian, you're probably persecuted big time. Dead Sea Scrolls are included, plus the Apocrypha. Yeah. Wow. Are Christians harassed over there? Because I know, like I was just saying, some countries are harassed. And people go after them over different countries. I think Afghanistan's pretty bad. Maybe Pakistan. I remember hearing about people getting beheaded over there and shit. What? Give some of the some of the clouds to the missing years of Jesus. Clues. All right. Yeah, again, the only problem with all that is you wonder at this point what's true and what isn't, because they're coming out of woodwork with I just saw a while ago, and this has got to be bullshit, that Judas evidently wrote a a book they just found or something, and then somebody else they found another one, and I don't know. It sounds like BS. I think it was Judas. Maybe it was Jude. They already have. There is a Jude in the Bible that was another apostle. It wasn't Judas. Maybe that's what I heard. I don't know a whole hell of a lot about philosophy. Listen to one of the Hawking speeches, and for some reason he just started shitting on philosophy mid talking. Hawkins, as in Stephen Hawkins? Or no, that. Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I really don't. I don't know. I mean, Stephen Hawkins. The funniest thing I ever heard was Richie from Boston calling him a crumpled old puppet. He said he was like a Walt Disney puppet in that wheelchair that he basically didn't even know if it was if it was like, was it really a person? Yeah, I mean, it's funny, but it wasn't funny. But the way he said it kind of cracked me up. He died, though, by the way, Stephen Hawkins. King James Bible was written in 1611. I think I trust that one. That has been around since 4th centuries. Yeah. I think that if you get the basic message from the Bible, right, it's probably about the best you can do. Because there's so much gray area and stuff, you know? And everybody's got their own thing. So I think you pray, you ask for discernment, and use that as a guideline. Take it from there and ask God to clarify things, because it's pretty hard. Some of the stuff in the Bible is hard to understand. Or I don't know if you guys ever did this. Read through the Bible, and years later you read the same thing, but this time you seem to understand it. Did you ever run into something in the Bible you had no idea what they meant? And it might be something to do with what's going on in the world right then and there, as opposed to 20 years ago. Your brain wasn't wired for what message God put in certain things in the Bible. I really believe that it's loaded with incredible amounts of information that we don't pick up all the time when we're reading it. You know, it comes later on, you know. And maybe it's, to me, you know what it reminds me of? Like peeling an onion. You know how an onion's got different layers? And as you get in there and further into it and study in the Bible and all this stuff starts becoming more, you become more aware of things and it makes more sense, you know? Do you know what he was on Epstein's list? Who was on Epstein's list? Do you go say King James? No, I don't think so. Prince Philip might have been on. Or was it Prince Philip or Andrew? Prince Andrew. Yeah. Aramaic to Greek to Hebrew to English. The King James Version is not translated correctly. Oh, Hawking. Wait a minute, what did you say about him a minute ago? Well, That's maybe, but he died several years ago. I guess yeah. You know what? I think you are right. I think I remember hearing that he went there. Stephen Hawkins. John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and was it? And the Word is with. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Yeah. But as time goes on, I have noticed, and I don't know how, but I've picked up things, and I know they're in the Bible. Somebody say something, and that's so and so. I might not know exactly where it is, but it's like subconsciously I've heard it several times, and I also wonder if, like, from trying to learn it, God's putting it there and, you know, giving it to you for later on for knowledge and something in your life. Like, if you ask for discernment, he's giving it to you. You might just not see the answers that you want right now. It may come in his time whenever he feels it's time for you to learn this or learn that, you know? That's just my opinion. Let's just, yeah. Something happened to you. What, just now? You don't seem like you were in the past. Yeah, people do change. What, the way I speak, or what I talk about, or the fact that my memory's for shit anymore. I'm more than one. Basically, I'm not like just. I can't explain what I'm trying to say here. I'm deeper than most people think. I can converse about different things and stuff, but I don't know if that's what you're talking about. What's this? Less political, to be correct. Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. I have got. You know why? Because they're all liars, dude. I'm sorry to say. I don't want to put any more time talking about these guys, because in a sense they're acting like they're gods, and they're no god to me. There's only one God, and I'm trying to get away from talking about that, but I still do. I still talk about it sometimes, what they're doing. Yeah, it seems less aggressive. Who? Me? Yeah, maybe. Well, has political women. Less political, to be correct. Political correctness, or less political, to be correct. Yeah, it's hit or miss with me sometimes. I got tired of ranting on that all the time, but I did it a little bit earlier. If you go to the beginning of this thing, I'm bitching, but I don't go real deep into it. But when something bothers me, I'll start talking about it. And something's bothering me today about, and the other day as well, about the shit going on in the world, like in Australia. They're not, and same with England, same with other countries are starting to do it. They're losing their right to speak about shit that's happening now. There was one guy got locked up because he went after someone who raped his daughter over there. Wasn't somebody. It was like a group of men went, and that was like, I don't know what they call that. There's a name for it, where they're basically running in gangs and grabbing up women and stuff and doing whatever they want, And it happened in England, and the cops wouldn't do anything. It was a hate crime if you say anything. So that can get a person pissed off watching that shit go down around the world. And if you sit quietly, it's going to keep happening. So I try to talk as much as I can about that shit when I can stomach it. But like I said, I'm getting burnt out on all the political talk. So you are right. I have changed in a lot of ways, but took you long enough. Wait a minute. In the same verse might mean something to yes to you today and something totally different tomorrow. That is the Spirit talking to you. That's called the living Word of God. It's forever changing in ways to fit whatever goes on. That's how big God is, how He can create the whole universe, and yet something minute as a sentence in the Bible could have multiple meanings. Like I was saying, peeling layers of an onion or the many facets of a crystal. There's just more than one thing, because it might mean something completely different somebody that lives on the other side of the world may fit perfectly in their world right then and there. Something's going on. So yeah, I believe that God, and there's people that have studied the Bible code, that claim that there's a coded message in there, and they're finding things. I can't remember who the scientist was that was doing that a while ago. It was a Jewish guy, and he was basically finding words and stuff that like messages that were incredibly insightful and explaining certain things, and it couldn't have been a coincidence like that. They were hidden in there and they were coming to light. Or if it was, it's one hell of a coincidence. So that's what they believe, that there's a code there. And mathematically, there's codes. And again, here I'm talking about mathematics. I don't care for mathematics. But the other side, the Illuminati and all those people who are big money and all, worshiping false idols, they're into gematria and different things. So there you go, mathematics there too. There's hidden stuff everywhere. And some things I think God hid, and He'll let the scales fall off your eyes and let you see it when it's your time to see it. That's just something I believe. I don't know if I ever read that per se like that in the Bible, but I think that's possible. What's happened? What did she say up there? I didn't catch that. Who cares? Jesus is hopefully coming. Yeah, soon. And He can judge, judge. I'm waiting for the feast of the bride. Yeah, exactly. No, you're exactly right. About talking about politics and stuff. That's the distraction. That's why I think another reason why I want to let go of that and try to walk away. But I still go right back into it sometimes. But all that shit kind of means nothing in the grand scheme of things. None of those guys can give me eternal life, but Jesus can. Go follow Trump around thinking he's the answer. He ain't the answer. He's just another person, another cog in the machinery of life. He's no more, no less than anybody else, in my opinion. But Jesus is the answer. End of story right there. And I know what you're talking about. He was pulling codes through the Hebrew translate. Yeah. Can't wait to laugh at you guys on the other side. You know what? We'll have to wait and see, but I happen to know that the last laugh's going to be on you, dude, because Jesus is the way, brother. That's my honest belief. I mean, if you see a change in me, it's because I was dealing too much in this world, this solid physical world right now, right here. It's all going to melt away. It's going to be nothing. This is the illusion. We think, you tap on the thing here and you can hear it and it's something physical. Shit's going to mean nothing real soon, real quick. It'll be time to go home. The rapture will happen. You'll be spirit, energy, glorified body, and you'll be out of here. And none of this shit that you own will be worth a damn. And it's funny. It's ironic that the powers that be, the globalist New World Order kept saying, oh, you'll own nothing and be happy. You're fucking right, because this shit's nothing more than an anchor around our neck. It's false idols. We're never going to be able to leave here. It's what's the chains that are going to tie us down to the physical world when it's time to become a spirit energy and move on to the next life. That's just, I can't prove what I'm saying, but that's the way I strongly feel in my heart. You know? What's it say? No, I'll cry for them. How sad that there will be people that will be shut off from the light of God. Yeah. It's because they're buying into the world right here, right now. Instant gratification. You're better off being poverty stricken, uh, living destitute, in the gutter right now, physically, but being spiritually where you need to be, because the rewards are coming. Because in heaven, Jesus said, there are many mansions in my Father's kingdom, and I go there to prepare one for you. And that's where we're going to get rewarded, the afterlife. And people say, that's crazy talk. No, it isn't. No. People gave up their life for the so-called crazy talk because in their heart and soul, they felt it and they knew that it was the truth. That's my belief, too. Which is too late. Jesus comes. They denied the blood for their sins. What's it? All they had to do was accept the gift. You're right. Absolutely. Imagine the suffering he did for us, nailed to the cross. It must have been horrific, the pain and all that. And we can't give him a couple minutes daily to say a prayer even half the time, or we're about doing our things in the physical world. And we're forgetting that this is a temporary home, man. And just because you can't see it right now doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's like you can't see an atom, yet they know that everything's made up of atoms and molecules. It's there, I can't explain what I'm trying to say. I hope God is chill with freedom. Yeah, I think you will be. But you know what? You won't even want to sin. You won't want to be living the life we live here. You know what? The life we're living here is probably still residue left over from them eating the apple in the fucking Garden of Eden, meaning we learn sin, and when we go up there and we're cleansed in the blood of Jesus, we will not think like that. It'd be a whole different way. What's it say? There better be a garden for me. I don't want a mansion. Well, you probably have both. You'll have a mansion with the garden. See, because Jesus is a carpenter, so he's up there building your mansion, and he's also the tree of life, so he's growing things on your yard for your garden. So how do you like that? But that was actually on my, hang on, let me turn this car off for a minute, burning up gas. That was actually on the prayer card for my father's funeral, about there are many mansions in heaven. I go there to prepare one. I can't remember where it's at in the Bible. I've read it, and right now I'm drawing a blank. Let me see if I got the phone. I'll look that up. Wait a minute. Where does it say in the Bible, there are many mansions in heaven, I go there to prepare one for you? I know I'm not quoting it exactly right, but here it comes. Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 2. John 14, 2, where Jesus says, in my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. I was close to what it actually said, but still off. And then, what do you guys think about animals being in heaven? I I've had arguments with my sister, not really arguments, discussions. She was a Jehovah Witness, and she's no, there's no animals, and your pets aren't going to be there. Wait a minute, there are animals, in my opinion, and I can show you in the Bible. One thing is Jesus is coming back from heaven, right, on a white stallion or white horse, right, and doves doves come flying down there, and there's many things talking about animals, and why would God create something he never wants to see again and just, it's gone, never mind. I think you will have the ability to go see your pets and stuff in heaven. There must be something. Then maybe they don't have a soul, but spirit energy, there's got to be something, because people are brokenhearted. They have a dog for all their life. Maybe they didn't have any kids or whatever, and it dies. That seems kind of cruel to not let them in the afterlife, you know, see them. I just can't believe that God would just let. And matter of fact, if you don't believe in God, but you believe in science, even Einstein said, he's a scientist there. He said that you can't completely get rid of something. There's always something left, mass, what's it? What do you call it? Physical. I can't even talk right now. Basically, it changes into a form of energy or something else. There's no way to completely turn it to nothingness. There better be I already read that. I think the bigger question is if animals have souls. Yeah. There's souls and then there's spirits. Are they the same? I think there's two different things. Maybe they have souls. Don't know that it says anything really about that in the Bible. I don't know. Wait a minute. Hang on. Let me make sure I got some battery left. I'm at 7% here. I got to turn my car back on, plug this in, or it's going to go dead on us. You know who I haven't seen for a while? Is Doc. And somebody else is missing. Wait a minute. Does stuff look weird all of a sudden? Hang on. I'm messing with the I found a way you can do AI on here. Wait a minute. Let's check something out. This is radioactive. See if shit. Let's see what else they got in here. X-ray. Should I do the rest of the live stream like this? I can't even see what you guys are writing or anything like that, so I can't. Wait a minute. Thermal. This is pretty cool looking. Infrared. What's this? Wait, let me read. Native Americans Belief Center on animism recognizes that animals, plants, rocks, and natural forces all possess souls or spirits, form a connection, spiritual world where humans, animals. Well, you know something? I kind of believe that even the rocks would cry out, Jesus said, if no one, he's talking about an inanimate object, a rock would pronounce, that he was Jesus or he was God. And it says that in the Bible. It also says something else came to me and I just lost it there. But yeah, I think if we're made in the likeness of God and God's the artist that created this whole universe, there's a little bit of God in everybody and everything, you know? Um, that energy may be teeny parts of his soul or whatever. I don't even know how to explain what I'm trying to say. Even rocks are alive. Maybe a different type of life. Well, you know what? You need carbon for life forms, and you know something? Plenty of carbon in a lot of the rocks out there, you know? So they're building blocks for life are there. So, and atoms and molecules have energy. You know what I mean? They say crystals can heal stuff. Maybe that's energy that's left over from what God put into everything when he created everything. You know, he hovered over the water in Genesis and breathed life into Adam. You know, it was a handful of clay. And the fact that his name was Adam's kind of ironic. Building blocks of everything is an atom, spelled differently, but kind of ironic. Yep. Yeah, that in heaven the trees praise God. Probably everything that was made by God probably does. Echoes back to what he put into everything. Like, I mean, technically, not that this has anything to do with anything, but there's actually druids who believe that trees were more than just an inanimate object. Maybe they are. Maybe everything, like you just said, that God put a little bit of his energy in everything. Science has proven that plants screen. Oh yeah. Me and Tammy were talking about that type of stuff. There was a guy that was putting like a jar of dried rice or something in his room when he was. I forget how this worked, and he was just yelling negative stuff at it, and basically absorbed it. That's not right. It was something else. Plants. He had plants, and the ones that were in a negative environment were affected. And then he had the other ones where he's praying, he was all, you know, laughing, enjoying himself, talking to the plant and all this, and that was thriving and surviving. And the other shit was like dying on the vine. Tree hugger, yeah, there you go. Easily. That's not even hard. Chemicals, electromagnetic, just chemicals that are given off by leaves on trees and that will bring other animals by that'll pollinate that tree. You know, God thought of everything. It's way beyond. I can't even explain the basics because wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, there's a billion things we're not even thinking of. Electricity. That's right. Tesla proved that. He brought electric power out of the earth and was going to give us free energy. That was his gift to the world. And the fucking powers that be didn't want that. They want to keep us on the electric grid and keep us enslaved. And they used it for what they wanted. And man didn't get the chance to use electric. Kind of reminds me of in Greek mythology. I think it's Prometheus invented fire, or Epimetheus and Prometheus were twins or something, the Titans or something back in Greek mythology. But it's kind of like a story that I think a lot of the Greek mythology is based on things, you know, it's just a negative, not that it's, I can't explain myself. Like Hermes, the winged messenger, and he was one of the gods of Greek mythology. But winged messenger of God is an angel. So was Hermes a fallen angel? And they're just telling you they landed on Mount Hermes or Hermon. Might have zero to do with anything. I just often thought that was weird. That if you go read Enoch, the book of Enoch, they talk about the gods fell and were landed on. I think it was some. What was it? I just said it a minute ago. Not Mount Ararat's where Noah's Ark supposedly is. The gods fell on Mount Hermon. I mean, there could be some truth to all the things that are still around. The stories, the legends, the lore could have a little grain of truth in them, but people turned it around, and the people were probably influenced by dark forces to change truth into darkness, or, when we probably knew about it early on. People were more, I think they were more in tune with God way, way back when we're primitive than now we're into technology and everything. We tell ourselves we don't need God, Go push a button and all your problems are solved for the moment, You don't have to get on your knees and pray and ask for forgiveness and all this. You got technology. That's what they're handing us over. It's a false God. They want us to go get the chip and be part of this beast system. What's this say? It's like they put in the movie Avatar, roots are connected funguses, grocery store, foot tribe. Nice. I swear I have to hunt for hours just to find my kids' shoes. Most of the times, just to go somewhere. LOL. It's funny that you're talking about shoes, because just recently I had a little bit of a shoe crisis myself. I couldn't find a fucking decent pair of boots, and the ones I had were starting to split, and they had holes in them up near the toes and shit. And I was out door dashing and walking through the fucking snow. This sucks. So I said, literally on the way home, I said, I got to find a decent pair of shoes. I don't have a lot of money right now at this moment. God, help me out. So I went into Goodwill. I figured, shit, I'll just have to buy something cheap because I'll fucking get frostbite. Well, I walk in there and I find they're sneakers, but they're not sneakers. They're running shoes. And it turned out I paid $8.50 there. They look brand new, big time tread on them. So they're great for walking in ice. Here's the kicker. They're called running shoes. There's a name for them. What the fuck? Merrill. They're literally about $150, brand new. These things are damn. Here, let me take one off. I'm wearing them. So it's kind of weird coincidence that you just said that. I guess don't judge me till you walk a mile in my shoes, and my shoes had holes in them. These are the new shoes. Brand new. They're $150 sneakers. I paid $8.50. See what praying can do for you? Maybe God had left them, who knows? I'm just thinking that, ask and you shall receive. I didn't have hardly any money. I couldn't go out and buy a brand new pair of boots. They're like $60 to $100, or I just don't have it right now. So it was what it was. Yeah, I glued. I was getting ready to crazy glue the damn things, but it wouldn't. What's this? I swear, I have to. Oh, yeah, I already read that. You got a pair of Merrells. Yes, Merrells. That's exactly what they are. Do you know what I'm talking about? I had no fucking idea because I don't follow all that. They're, wait a minute. Hang on one second. There's a name. Let me see. I didn't know what the fuck it were, but they're here. I don't know if you can see that. Tread on them, brand spanking new. It's called Merrells. And something else on there. I can't remember. Air cushion. The hell else was this called? Wait a minute. Wait, what the hell does that say? Vibrams or something? Vibrams. I looked them up. They were like $160 or $150. I paid $8.50. They're pretty close to being brand new. I didn't. It blew my mind. I just saw some cheap sneakers, and they weren't. They're actually feel comfortable and safer for me because I got better traction. And they're freaking thick soles. Yeah, they give me a little height. So I got that going for me there. But better yet, like I said, it seems like the deep traction in there. I can walk on ice and shit. Which right now we've had ice on the ground, so. But meanwhile, them other shoes had fucking holes in the bitches, and I'm walking trying to bring the food to the doorstep, and you gotta, leave it there or whatever. And you go to leave, and you step in an ice cold puddle, gets in there. So what I was doing is shoving. I don't know if you know what hot hand things are, the warmers, hand warmers. Had them in my shoes, and it bought me enough time to get through that shift to go get the fucking shoes. But I mean, it was like the fucking hot hand thing was sticking out the front end of my one shoe. It fucking sucked. I mean, that's when you know it's fucking getting tough, when all of a sudden you can't fucking make ends meet, because it just got that way in the last month or so. It's getting tighter and tighter. I mean, I'm still making it, but shit is hitting hard. And there's a lot of people that are in far worse shape than I am. And I usually give them my spare change or something when I see them. I really don't have a whole lot myself, but I don't know. I don't even know what I'm babbling about right now. Let me go back and read some of this stuff. I know what those are. Those aren't cheap. God answered your prayer big time. Yeah, he did. Yeah, there was like, it said $160 or $150. There's two different models of it. I think it could have been the $160 one. It's fucking incredible. I never spend that kind of money on running shoes. So yeah, you're right. And like there was nothing much else left. There was other shit I would have never bought. But these things I just said, they look okay. I'm going to put them on. They look kind of nice. And they felt all right. And boom, I bought them. Yeah, I think he did, but I figured out Merrill's or something it's called. But those aren't cheap. They're hiking shoes. Yes, you're right. For through hikers. Yes, and that's exactly what's good, because that's gonna. I'm actually thinking about going and doing more walking. Getting out there on my time off. I need to. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. What the hell was that sound? Heard something. Maybe my car made a weird sound there. It might have been ice falling off of the front end of it. Icicles or something. Yeah, my size, sitting there waiting for me. So you're right. He does answer prayers. Yep. Yeah, I couldn't believe it when I looked that up, because I don't know shit about shoes and shit like that. But when I saw $160 and I paid $8.50, I'm like, holy smoke. It's unreal. Hey, hit me with thumbs up there. I got 5 in there, and I only got 3 thumbs up. Been on here for 1.5 hours. I think I earned another one trying to get the thumbs up. By the way, has anybody else noticed, if you're doing videos anymore, they're handing out thumbs up very stingily? Like, I mean, not the people. I think YouTube might be stopping that. You hardly ever, like, sometimes it's my fault when I go to set the thing up. There's a thing you got to hit. Put a check in the box to, do you want thumbs up and this and that? It tells you different things. It might be partly that, which is, now I've had prayers answered in ways I don't expect to be answered. Ask and you shall receive, but might not be how you want it. Exactly. Exactly. Because God knows what you need more than we do. We look at things with eyes of the world all the time. Like I'm saying, yeah, physical treasures here aren't going to mean a hill of beans in heaven. You know, they're not going to be nothing. So if he's giving you something you can't figure out why, but he's not giving you what you've been asking for, there's probably a good reason. Maybe later on it'll come to you. Receive, yeah. You know who I haven't seen on here besides Doc? Do you guys remember Spirit in the Sky? Do you know who she is? Little bit of pure gold. She's actually Michigan or something. She does live streams. She's been on the live stream. She's actually American Indian too. She talks about what do you call it? Powwows and stuff that she goes to. And I haven't seen her. I wonder if she's all right. I haven't. She was always doing live streams. Again, the problem is a lot of times they're not sending it. DM shots. O'Doyle. I talked to O'Doyle. He said he's been busy as shit. And Mark once in a while. And you know what? Mark probably gets pissed off because every time he's on here, he's kicked to the curb out of the blue. You know. Mixed media. Yeah. I don't know if they're not getting the notifications, or they're just staying into it. And that's cool, whatever. But it just bothers me that um, YouTube's probably still stifling me. They did it for a long while. Took me a long time to get um, busted through 1,000 subscribers, or what I felt was pretty damn long. Because I see people come on there. And you know what, though? I think they're buying subscribers nowadays, too. Literally, I think you can pay money. They had something called Boost that give you a boost in your subscribers, but they're probably all bots, or a lot of them are. Yeah, I talked to her a little while ago. I don't know if she was on the live stream or sent her a message or something. She's been busy, too. She she's what do you call it? Had a lot of in recent times, a lot of stress or something going on in her life, I think. But who hasn't? We're all fucking life's life's been rough on everybody right now. End times, I think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you get doing things. The only reason why I'm doing a live stream tonight is literally I figured I've really done much of anything in the evening anymore. I don't go anywhere. I'm getting old and I don't like to drive at night. I mean, let me show you how dark it is out over here. Yeah, I don't like to drive. They used to have street lights everywhere when I was growing up that you could see, out on the road. I'm having trouble. I just noticed it in recent times, and it's just not even worth going anywhere, doing anything. And then on top of that, nowadays, you're like scared to fucking hang around with people because people are really fucked up. The world's really fucked up. Some of them are messed up, I think, from the whole COVID experience, and some of them are just tapped into negative energy from whatever they're doing in their life. Yeah. What's that? What do you do every now and then? Just fucking basically just chill out and fucking. I go into dormancy mode where I just like hibernation for a little bit, and then. But yeah, that's why I was doing. Another reason why I was doing live streams is because it's something to do, and you're not sitting there thinking about all the things going on in your life that aren't where they should be, and You want to get out and communicate, but like I was just about to say, or was starting to say, is nowadays you can't trust anybody, and people need to keep their distance from other people because there's so much con men and corruption going on out there. What's this? Last week, I opened YouTube app and it took my picture. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Told me that I was 80 to 88 without my permission. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I thought about that myself. Just fucking, yeah. And there's a lot of work I threw into this. But then I'm wondering, I was talking about this earlier. How do I know this isn't a trap? In other words, spiritually, I'm on here yapping away. Am I doing any good? I don't know. Am I doing any good in my life? I don't know. When I'm fucking around on here, maybe I should be focusing harder on God than, and let go of this. And it's easy to say, but I know me. I'm like hooked on the fucking whole, um, what do you call it? Cell phone shit. Looking at the internet, the YouTube. I can tell you what's going on YouTube all the time because I'm watching it all the time. And I'm thinking, well, what the fuck? Why am I sitting there watching life instead of going out and doing life? Because I didn't used to be like that. I'd say the last 4 or 5 years, just disengaged and don't even give a shit. Like I said, and I think a lot of it comes right from the whole COVID-19 thing. Everybody's pulled away. Everybody's afraid to be near anybody. Like, I still see it in people in the stores and shit. They step back from people, and of course, you always still got the maskies, the people wearing the masks and the gloves and all that fuck, still playing that game. And people just act different. They're less sociable. Things are fucked up in the world. Does say in the Bible that was going to happen anyway, about people wax cold, their love will wax cold for their family and friends and shit. Because basically, if you ain't got God in your life or not enough of them, then I think that you basically become self-centered and into your, what's it say, doom scrolling addiction. Yeah, exactly. I caught myself doing that, watching like what's happening now, and then I come on here and spread the virus of what the hell's going on in the world. So I'm guilty of it. But I also think that people need to know some of this shit, and that's why I speak up too and pay attention, because God did put people on this planet to be watchmen on the wall, whatever, at least speak about, if you see a warning, you know, and I'm not really qualified to be a watchman on the wall, in my opinion, but there's some reason that he's left me in a spot where I'm interested in talking about God and stuff, but I can't explain what I'm trying to say. God sees things and qualities in each and every one of us that we would never see. You look in the mirror and you're like, the hell, why, what's my specialty or what's my thing? He knows, and whatever it is, he's helping you do whatever you do to help someone else somewhere in life, usually. And a lot of times you don't notice that too in your daily, walking about on this earth. What's this? Oh, did you hear about the scientist that claims he found the body of Jesus and the Ark of the Covenant, Covenant, under the Pyramid of Giza? No, but you know what I think is under there? I often thought the pit was under there, and that's where the locusts were going to come out of in Egypt, because that's where the 7 curses or something that Moses was taking the people out of there, and that Pharaoh chased them, and all these locusts and floods and The river turned to blood, and gnats and mosquitoes and viruses, all kinds of shit happened. I'm wondering if it's more or less came right out of the pit, right there. That big false idol, that the Sphinx, may have been an early thing that they were worshiping. I don't think it was just a piece of artwork. It meant something to them. Yeah. Matthew 20, Matthew 24:26. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth, behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it or not. Yeah. Something, I just had a weird thought when you said I made blankets for all the family and everything. I don't know what, and you were talking about the Ark of the Covenant and all this other stuff. I just thought about the Shroud of Turin. Did a family member make that or sew that up, or literally? I wonder who embalmed, or who. I don't think he was embalmed, but who wrapped Jesus up? No, was that Mary Magdalene and all them, and the Shroud of Turin. I was just thinking about that when you said blanket. For some reason, that came into my head. She said about the Ark of the Covenant. I keep calling it government. Just makes me wonder about different things. Evidently, they tried to carbon date, or they did carbon date multiple times, the Shroud of Turin. And the thing is that, oh, wait a minute, am I still plugged in here? Yep, cool. It went back to the right time period, but there was also, it was in a church or something at one point that there was a fire in there, so it had some smoke and fire damage on it. And you wonder, wait a minute, they're claiming they found his body in a secret chamber. You and I both know Jesus has no body on earth. He was resurrected and brought up. Yeah. Well, again, they're liars, and people are trying to deceive and knock people off the right path. Now, that's what I heard earlier. I heard something weird in the front of the car here. This ice just slid right off. It was on my roof. It sounded like something crawling down the fucking windshield, like a mouse or something. But I saw it that time. It was a piece of ice. I thought we were supposed to get snow again tonight or something. But I didn't see it. It's cold enough out here. I think I'm going to call it quits in about, give it another 6 minutes or so. That'll be 2 hours I was on here. And what are you saying true to, Tammy? Mark 15:47. And he brought fine linen and took him down and wrapped him in linen and laid him in a sepulchre, which was hewn out of rock, and rolled a stone onto the door of a sepulchre. I think that might have been Joseph of Arimathea, but I'm probably wrong on that. Not the Joseph that it was his father. but I think I could have swore I heard Joseph of Arimathea, or am I mistaken? Yeah, because I know that at the crucifixion, the end there, the only apostle that was there was John. Joseph bought yes, and I think it's Joseph of Arimathea. I don't know that it's Joseph, his father, might have been passed away. Don't quote me on that, but check into that. Joseph of Arimathea. There's also talk that later on, and I don't know what this is from, but he went up in towards, like, through Europe and everything. Which I don't know whether that's true or not. Something about him and maybe Mary Magdalene, and then all that talk about the Holy Grail was with them and all this other. There's different stories and stuff that I don't think are even in the Bible, but have been talked about. Legends and tales. My my name of my YouTube channel. So you wonder what's true and what isn't. I'm pretty sure that might have been. Let me look that up about Joseph of Arimathea. Now, who he was. Wait a minute. Joseph of Arimathea, a wealthy disciple, a member of the Jewish council, brought a linen cloth shroud to wrap. Then it was him. All right, I was right about that. See, I don't even know where I learned some of this stuff about, but it's stuck in my memory, which is a good thing because God brings it forth when I need to say it. Because I'm not doing any of the thinking here. It just comes out sometimes, and sometimes I think it's God, and I think every one of us has times we say stuff, and you later on you're like, damn, that kind of was deep, or that kind of might have had more meaning to it than I thought. I think God talks through us a lot. Discernment sends us things, and we got to interpret it one way or another, or whatever. You're pretty quick with looking up the Bible verses there. Did you know that one, or did you have to look that up there a little bit? Okay, we're at 1:58. Go 2 more minutes. Just break 2 hours. See, back in the day, when I'm on for 2 hours, right about now, more people would start jumping on. Doc sometime come in late or somebody else, and they're just not getting the notifications or something. I know it, but I fact checked myself. That's cool. Yep. I don't remember where I heard about Joseph of Arimathea, but there's a lot of stuff that sometimes I'll say something and I'll be like thinking about later. Damn, I didn't realize I knew that, because I think hearing it through years of church and reading stuff, and it just kind of stuck in there. Okay, about what, 40 seconds away from turning this off. I'm just trying to get to 2 hours. What was that? Notification on my other phone, I guess, just went off. Let me see something. Wow. Listen to this. This just came up. I must have looked this up. My father's house has many rooms. It's just another version. If there weren't not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? You guys have a good night. Thanks for watching. And maybe through the week I'll do another one later on this week or something. God bless everybody and have a good one. Have a great Christmas if I don't see any of you.